Hi, Michelle and Alan. I don't know if you guys might watch this video together or separately, but I just wanted to make you a quick video today to offer you some coping tools because you're building your coping toolbox to get through until our next session. So the first coping skill, the #1 priority in your toolbox is self-care. So when your partner isn't in self-leadership, might be angry, sad, hungry, didn't get enough sleep, whatever the source is, we can't ask them for comfort in that moment. We have to be our own primary caretaker. So what that means is that we get to be our own best friend. And one great way to focus on yourself is to repeat a mantra. In yoga, we call this a sankalpa. It's a fancy word for planting a seed in the fertile soil of your mind to bring about healing and transformation. So even if your thoughts are negative or doubtful or hurt, you're choosing to let that feeling be kind of here, but you're choosing to reassure and nurture yourself. So you're not the feeling, you're just noticing the feeling. Oh, there it is, the hurt's coming back, and now I'm in self-love mode, right? So self-love is the biggest thing in couples. And from there, you can share that with your partner. So when you get triggered, say something kind to yourself. Say, hey, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be hurt. These feelings that I'm having are totally okay to have. But let me take 5 seconds and 3 deep breaths. A long exhale, a big inhale. Exhale out your nose. Inhale all the way to the top. A slow, gentle breath out. And after you use that amazing coping skill, now decide what you'd like to do with this feeling. So we have to identify, okay, anger might be present. My first reaction, or my old self, might yell, or might throw something, or might storm off, or send an angry text message to have the last word. And I'm acknowledging that, right? That was my old self, right? For you and Alan, Michelle, you and Alan, Alan and Michelle, whoever's watching this. And then to say, this is my chosen conscious action. So you might say, okay, I would typically react like this, but now I'm going to choose to a healthier, higher vibration, positive reaction. It doesn't have anything to do with that other person. It's because you want to live a better life that you're going to be reacting differently. Not only just to your spouse, but to work, to your boss, to your friends. You're going to start to attract healthy relationships all around. So, if you feel angry, you have to assess, is this person aware enough to hear what I'm saying? If they're not, it's not the time to talk. That's the time to journal. Write down everything you'd like to say. Journal 3 to 5 pages if you need to. Front and back, use a cool pen, a glitter gel pen, your favorite ballpoint pen, and write down what you'd like to say. And this dialogue doesn't have to be shared. It's more of an exercise for you to get calm, clear, compassionate, and confident. There's a sense of curiosity about ourselves that we need when we're triggered, because it's not just the other person. We can't say, I'll only be less angry when they're happier. What we have to do is say, I'm choosing to be happy no matter what situation I'm in. And I trust myself that I'll be in tune with my heart enough to know if this situation no longer serves me. So there's this centeredness, there's this groundedness to exploring our feelings rather than neglecting them and saying this feeling is too much. Or, if you feel neglected by your partner, turn into yourself and say, oh, I love myself. I have a beautiful life, and these are the 3 great things that happened to me today. I'm breathing. I woke up alive. Like, oh my goodness, I'm so grateful for that. And wow, look, I had a wonderful breakfast today, and I had local eggs, and wow, those chickens made me those eggs, and I feel so honored. It's such a gift to have local eggs. And wow, I got to, walk by the ocean today, and I got to see the ocean with my eyes. I have both eyes, and, it's just such a wonderful thing to have a beautiful life, right? So it's not about your partner right now in self-care mode. It's just about what you need, right? And then we look at nutrition. So reducing caffeine to having no caffeine is a direct stress response. So when you have caffeine or alcohol, your nervous system goes into self-protection mode. And it's almost more challenging to be your own best friend and calm yourself when you have that adrenaline response pumped up with caffeine and alcohol. So when you have caffeine first thing in the morning, it puts you into a professional mode, kind of puts you into this like box. And emotionally, it might, serve you for a short time to help you reach a goal. But emotionally, caffeine regularly wears down your nervous system. It causes you to feel adrenal fatigue, exhausted, lethargic, more emotional, crying more often, more angry, from 0 to 100 in anger very quickly. Caffeine and alcohol both do this. And for a lot of people, this, when life's good, these can be pleasurable. When life is not good, it can actually create and cause that tension and anger to fester and prevent growth. So, if you notice you have caffeine or alcohol, these will create a pitta imbalance or a fire imbalance. So you may find yourself with a sharp tongue or saying something you don't mean, or not really your best self. And once you have a strong sense of self in your heart, you might be able to layer on alcohol or caffeine here and there on an occasion, like a birthday or a holiday. But it really is, I think, something right now that might be curious to explore. I'm having some cooling peppermint tea, reducing caffeine, reducing alcohol, and having good nutrition, having whole grains, barley, brown rice, farro, wheat berries, couscous, cooking those whole grains, having protein, real delicious protein with your meal, and having some healthy fats, so your avocados, your grass-fed butters, and also fruits and veggies. So all of these foods are good foods. But when we have toxic things in our body like caffeine and alcohol, these delicious foods sometimes don't feel good. So by removing caffeine and alcohol, even for a week, just try it for a week. You can always go back to what feels comfortable if you try something and it doesn't fit. But if you try it for a week, you might say, wow, like this is so uncomfortable. And that's okay. It's just that feeling we're looking at, we're noticing. We're saying, ooh, it's uncomfortable. What changes do I need to consciously make to live a centered life in mind, body, and spirit? And it's not about anyone else but yourself. So, so it's so fun. It's so fun to explore nutrition, right? That like physical aspect of our gut-brain connection. And a last tip that I'll leave you with today, for both you, Alan and Michelle, is just never to be too hard on yourself. And sometimes we are very hard on ourselves without even realizing it, and kind of judge ourselves. And so to do a self-massage, a coconut oil or sesame oil or some oil that feels really good. And I make like a shea butter too. Like this is like a body butter that I make, and it smells so good. And so anyway, so massaging your hands, massaging the soles of your feet before you go to bed, like just for yourself, like just for you, like no one else, just you. It's an amazing feeling. And also to just be kind to yourself, to say, hey, like, I love myself, I accept myself as I am, I'm doing a great job learning these new emotional coping skills, right? To focus on those wins, like when things go well in your life, right? Not to look at the last bad thing and say, oh, well, this good thing doesn't really matter because there were so many bad things, but to say, wow, like, oh my goodness, this amazing thing happened, and let's highlight this really positive connection. That could be just with a friend, or it could be with a spouse or with a child, so I think highlighting those wins is a really big thing because it makes you feel really good. It's like focusing on the things that are going well, right? And last but not least, we'll end with just a deep breath to center. So a big breath in. Exhale all the way out. Arriving in the present moment, the here and the now, where you're safe, you're calm, you are your own best friend, gaining wisdom, learning to connect with others in healthy ways, all from self-love and self-care. All right, you guys, I'll talk with you next week. Bye, Alan. Bye, Michelle.